Hello and welcome to the Fantasy News Show from the Bottled Imp. My name is Ken Boyter and this, believe it or not, is your weekly fix of fantasy news. On today's show, The Lord of the Rings is back to back. Roll up and volunteer for the UK Games Expo. And the Goonies are back on Kickstarter. Well, they're on Kickstarter and they're back in action. But first, unfortunately, some more sad news. The British animator Terry Brain has died, aged 60. That's really young. He died of he died of cancer after a 2-year battle. He was best known probably for the 1980s dark fantasy comedy The Trapdoor, which I believe was on ITV. And that shows about the daily lives of a group of monsters and their misadventures. And it was all led by a lovely, cute character called Berk. Absolutely loved that TV show. It was really influential. I probably was about 8 or 9, and it really hit my imagination. It was all about these group of monsters. They lived under a trapdoor in a castle. Really good sense of humour, really creative, really imaginative. So obviously it's very sad that Terry has died. They made over 40 episodes. I didn't know they made that many, and it was all claymation, so a lot of hard work went into that. So a big part of my childhood that was. So obviously our thoughts and feelings go out to his friends and family. The Prince Charles Cinema in the West End is screening the Lord of the Rings trilogy back to back. Oh yes, hold on to your staffs. It's going to be a long one. They're showing all 3 films, extended versions, so that's at least 2 hours 45 for each film. That's crazy. It all starts at 11 a.m. and it finishes, well, you can imagine it finishes very, very late. It finishes about 11 o'clock at night. Now, I've only just discovered this cinema. It's the Prince Charles Cinema in the West End. It shows cult films, and it seems to show really cool films. Not, a mixture. It's not just fantasy. So it's got upcoming films are things like Blade Runner, a lot of the Bond films. So if you've never seen some of the early Bond films on the big screen, what a great chance, what a great opportunity to see that. Is showing Mad Max films, The Hunger Games. Actually, I've fallen in love with the cinema and I've not even been. It just shows really cool films. This, the Lord of the Rings fantasy trilogy is taking place on the 2nd of May. And if you're interested in going, I probably would book earlier rather than later. Now, as I say, I don't know how well these sell out, but I could imagine something like Lord of the Rings is going to sell out pretty well. It does seem quite a big cinema. There was, as we film now, there was over 200 seats still available. But if you definitely want to go, I would just book your ticket right now. And obviously that's in London in the West End. By the way, I've actually booked my ticket. So if you see me there and recognise me, come up and say hello. The UK Games Expo is calling for more volunteers. You can help run this huge gaming event that takes place from the 3rd to the 5th of June. We have mentioned it already. It's their 10th anniversary. So this one is going to be the biggie. It's going to be bigger and better, apparently. Last year, I think there was about 7,000, 8,000 people attended. So that's a pretty sizable chunk of people attending a 3-day gaming exposition. And for your help, for your volunteering, you will get a free accommodation. You get bed and breakfast. You also get free entry into the event, obviously, and you will be getting a free voucher for your food while you're helping out. So we're going to be there, the Bottled Imp's going to be there. We have a stand, M23, so if you are volunteering, or even if you're not volunteering, we'd love you to come up and say hello. You can check out their website for full details, which is ukgamesexpo.co.uk. The London Woodland Witches, Eco-Magicians and Outdoor Pagans, that's quite a mouthful, they're holding their Woodland Beltine ceremony and maypole dancing event on the 1st of May. Now, it takes place in the Queen's Wood between 1:30pm and 7pm, and they'll be celebrating the commitment of loving couples with the sacred marriage ceremony. So obviously if you want to get married and you want to do it in a pagan way, this is the place to go. There's also going to be drumming and dancing and plenty of feasting, apparently. And they're asking you to gather at the Woodman pub near Highgate Station in London, and then you'll all walk to the woods together. So it kind of piques my interest, this. I won't be going, but I'll be curious. So if anyone has gone, leave some comments. I'd be interested to know exactly what went on there. They have got a Facebook page, so you can check out that for more details. Due for publication from Tor Books on the 26th of April is the new I don't know how to pronounce this. Hey, the first one of the show. Malazan, that seems quite an easy word to pronounce. Malazan novel, and that novel's called Fall of Light. And as I say, it's the second book in a trilogy. In the how do you pronounce this one? I can't even pronounce that. Look it up online. It's by Stephen Erickson, and it's set before there's an empire, and it's set before this empire, and civil war threatens to rip the land apart because there's a power struggle for the throne. And so the prize is obviously claiming that throne, but not only that, you get to rule with a living goddess. Imagine that. What power you would have. So it sounds quite intriguing. It's Erickson's debut novel. It's not his debut novel. His debut novel, Gardens of Moon, was shortlisted actually for the World Fantasy Award. So he does have, quite a good pedigree there. And you can visit his website, and this is the word I can't pronounce, so bear with me, MalazanEmpire.com. That's MALAZAN Empire.com. We'll put all the links into the description of this video. The Huntsman Winters War is due for cinematic release in the UK on the 8th of April and in the US of A on the 22nd of April. It's the sequel that is a prequel to the 2012 film Snow White and the Huntsman. Now, I didn't see that. I think it got mixed reviews. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, this is the sequel, and it's obviously going way back before that story. It's the directorial debut for Cedric Nicholas Triron, and it's based, obviously, on the German fairy tale Snow White, as well as The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen. It stars Chris Hemsworth, Emily Blunt, and Nick Frost of Shaun of the Dead fame. Fantasy Flight Games have announced a companion app for Descent, Journey in the Dark. Road to Legend is an app that helps you manage your Descent expansion. So I guess you can list them all, and it's got all the details of all the rules of how each expansion plays. Plus, it does actually take on the responsibility of playing the Overlord. So it means that all of you can play the heroes. You don't need anybody anymore to do the Overlord. Now, I don't know how I feel about that, because sometimes it's nice to be the Overlord. It's nice to pit your wits against other players, the heroes. But anyway, if nobody really wants to be the Overlord, then this is the app for you. It also offers 4 quest mini campaign called Rise of All Goblins. So there's some new little campaigns in there. And it does look quite a clever and interesting idea. I wonder how popular it's going to be. This whole debate about, well, should you use, apps and computers in a board game? Do they really mix well? Anyway, it's due for release in a couple of weeks' time, and you can visit fantasyflightgames.com for further details. Kickstarter news. The Goonies are back. They are coming to Kickstarter. Yes, the 1985 cult classic film based on a Steven Spielberg story has been officially licensed by Albino Dragon. It's a co-op adventure card game for 1 to 4 players. I'm not too sure about solo games. I don't play them personally. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. Who knows? It's designed by Matt Riddle and Ben Pinchback. They have got playthrough videos, and I think that's really important. If you are thinking of backing a game or a card game on Kickstarter, I would definitely try to find out what the rules are, what the mechanics are, because you might not like the game based on the mechanics. So I think that's very important. So it's nice of them to put a playthrough. They've got a couple of playthrough videos on, so you can get a real idea of how it plays and what it's like, the feel of it. So in this Goonies game, the idea is that you play one of the ragtag kids from the Goondocks neighbourhood, and you're trying to find the treasure of the legendary pirate One-Eyed Willie. So and I think this is all based on the film. Now, shock horror, I've not seen the Goonies. I know, people of my generation, it was law. You had to see the Goonies. I've never seen it. So one day I will sit down and watch it. Maybe I'll borrow Julian's copy, because I know he's got a copy. This company is based in Austin, Texas. It has already been funded, and it finishes on the 14th of April. Watchman of Destiny by Lucas Littberger is a fantasy card game for 2 to 5 players. And the idea here is you have to assemble a group of watchmen to protect the Tree of Destiny. I like that idea. You have 7 different animal races that you can play that make up your army. So it's actually, you control little groups of creatures, little cute little animals. The artwork does look gorgeous, and the little animal characters, with their little swords, and that just looks lovely. Just looks really well done. There's also an expansion that you can pledge for as well, and that is called Bloody Mercenaries, and that's got an extra set of 25 cards. And they've also unlocked lots of their stretch goals, so there's more bounty that you can pledge for. The campaign is already funded, but that obviously doesn't mean that you can't fund it as well. And that closes on the 13th of April. Fathoms, The Art of Michael Manovimibul. I'm sorry, it's a long name, that one. It's a collection of fine art fantasy images focusing on creatures from beneath the sea. And it's the book is a result of 6 years of this illustrator's collection, basically. He's a freelance artist. Really, really cool theme. I like the idea of monsters and mythical creatures under the sea. That's a theme that I haven't really read or been involved with too much in the fantasy genre. So maybe I should start looking out for under the sea films to review and books of that ilk. The book is 76 pages and it's 9 by 12 inches. It's a soft cover printed on heavyweight paper, so it's good quality. And it does include notes and of how the actual artistic process, as well as his thought process of why he comes up with each of his images. And he does say he likes to create a story within his images. I think that's a really cool idea. Also, if you only want a digital copy, you can pledge for that. And there's also limited hardback editions as well. As I say, the artwork does look stunning, really intrigued. I am a sucker for artwork, really intrigued by this one. He is based in Oakland, California. The project is already funded, so it will be produced, and it does end on the 15th of April. Blind Springs, Volume 1 by Kadi Federuk from Hiveworks Comics is publishing her political drama that's a cross with a fairy tale. It's about magic, a lost princess, secret societies, and ancient spirits long forgotten. And she also says that it's a fantasy with humour that runs all the way through it, and it's a romance as well. You can already read this for free if you like on her website, which is www.hiveworks.com, as she's been publishing this as a web series, and that I didn't realise this. I'm only starting to delve into the world of comic books and graphic novels, but it seems like people put their own comics up episodically onto their website, and then it's quite a cool idea to publish it retrospectively in a book. I think that's a great idea. It has over 240 full-colour pages, so it is a beast of a book, very good value. It does look a really interesting story. This one looks a treat. I don't know. I've not read it, so I don't know what the story is like. But again, you can check out our website, see if you like it. It is already funded, and it does finish on the 15th of April. A little bit of Bottled Imp news. I visited the Steam and Transport exhibition down in Chatham Historical Dockyard in Kent. I went there because there was a steampunk village nestled in the bosom of that event, and absolutely loved it. I've never been to a steampunk event before. My friend and Bottled Imp caricaturist Rich, he was there. He was drawing. He was really busy, really busy. Lots of people were there. They had lots of steam machines, obviously, if you can imagine. And because it's on the dockyard, they've got a huge, sort of galley that was there. Absolutely loved it. We're also going to do an imp chat about this to talk about it in further detail, because I think we're going to be going to a few more steampunk events in the future. Remember, we do also have our own website, which is thebottledimp.com, and we've got a Facebook page and Twitter and all the social media that you'd expect, so you can check that out. Leave any comments if you like the show, if you've got any questions. But that's all we have for... I can't even say the tagline there. I ruined it. Anyway, I'll try that again. Take 2. And remember, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, keep it unreal, especially the news. Oh, it was going so well.